I've always said that I thought Prince Harry would one day come back here and work for the royal family. But after reading that this morning, I looks pretty certain that he's made his mind up that America's his home and that's where he wants to stay. And God, just one day may even apply for citizenship. Who knows? And that way he'll have to give up his title of Duke of Sussex. So he probably won't go that far. But yeah, it's quite sad because Harry was a very important part of the royal family here, and he was much loved and not only by the people, but by the whole world. Everywhere we went, he was just so uh, he was just so just instant. He was loved. I mean, he just hugged people. He was absolutely charming, and especially with children, he was fantastic. But that's not probably not changed. But he obviously no longer wants to spend any more time, well, the least time possible here in the UK. Well, the taxpayer spent over £2 million refurbishing Frogmore for them, and it just made it just perfect. I mean, you must have not put that out for quotes because that sounds an awful lot of money for refurbishment, but they did a brilliant job. And I think the fact that they decided to go and live in America and just use Frogmore when it suited them just didn't suit the king. And he didn't think that was right. A property should be left like that, empty and just convenience once or 1 or 2 or 3 days a year. Now, that may be the reason, I don't know, but that's one of the things I would think when I was dealing with this couple. I mean, they've done nothing but trash the roles ever since they've gone. Harry wrote this awful book called Spare, which he was pretty nasty about many of the royal members of the royal family. Meghan almost accused him of being racist when she mentioned the colour of Archie's skin to Oprah Winfrey. And so they've left a wake of nasty stories really about our royal family. And if he only realised that he was part of that royal family for many years, and he knew it, most of those things he's written, just I don't think he really believed because, I mean, him and William were so close. I can't tell you they were so close. They did everything together. They were supported each other through everything. They flew aircraft together. They learned to ski together. They did everything together. And that rift now is just seems, well, it just doesn't seem possible to be healed. And that's, I think, very sad. So Frogmore House just was a small part of it. I think that was maybe an excuse. I think when he left the United Kingdom to make his home in North America, he's I think by signing this document saying he's now resident of United States of America, he's probably burnt his bridges. But I live in hope. I really love working with him. I thought he was just someone really special, and I'm quite sad about it as well. But seems inevitable that after his two children are American and his wife's American, and I think Harry lives in America, and not my choice, but it's his, and it's a sad occasion. You could look on it, people could say good riddance, because he's been nothing but a thorn in their side. But I mean, here's the prodigal son, and the prodigal son did return, and I hope, keep my fingers crossed. One day he may, but who knows? He's we all sort of change our heart at some stage in our life about things, and but he's coming close to 40 now. He's no child anymore. He's no young person anymore. He's a man who's now, instead of going to schools and charities and helping young people with mental health, he's going to award ceremonies and baseball games and polo matches, and he's just yeah, I don't think it's a real life for you, Harry. I think you were brilliant here. You gave a lot, and people loved you. Well, it doesn't hit me hard, but it's inevitable that we are no longer he's no longer a member of the royal family, in my view. Only in name he's got the title Duke of Sussex, which he's clinging on to. He's lost his Royal Highness title. His son and daughter are a prince and a princess, but what does that mean? In Montecito, it's almost like a novelty. It's nothing special. Here, it was someone special. Here, he mattered. Here, he really was uh, a prince of the realm. There, he's just another American, another Brit living in America with an American wife and family. And it's sad, really. And I think the king's very sad because, in the end of the day, the king loves his son dearly. And we would, one day want to see him return to the firm. But now it seems very unlikely. And yeah, I mean, I'm sad because of the great moments I had with him, fabulous times I had with him. I remember at a night school in Lesotho when I saw him, what he'd achieved, got these young feral kids into a school learning to read and write and do simple mathematics. That in itself was a great achievement. And I saw him uh, just on the beach of Copacabana Beach in Brazil playing with street kids. And he was fantastic, man. He's not doing that anymore. He's now, as I say, he's living the American dream. Well, you can have it, Harry. I think you were better off here. The royal family is quite slim now. It's in fact, you've got the king and the queen and William and Catherine, and it pretty much stops there. And although Princess Anne does tirelessly work for the king, and so does Edward, but the principals are those four, and first four I just mentioned, and they are. Uh, uh, they've got a much bigger load to carry. That's why Harry and Meghan working here would have carried an awful lot of that load. The king is recovering from cancer, and Catherine is too. And William, uh, quite rightly, took time off to be with his wife and family over the Easter holiday. Hope they had a good break. And but William is the heir to the throne, and of course he's embracing his work. And those two engagements today are just start of many to come. Well, the thing is, William, I mean, it's not the first one he's been to. He's been to several. I've been to one with him. And I mean, his mother took both William and Harry to see the way some people live in the shelters when they were young lads, to realize what great privilege they had, and to see how some British citizens are suffering living on the streets. But he's determined to do that. But many of his charities are that way. He cares about elephants in Africa, and he's touring the world for the prince. I mean, they were due to go to Rome to meet Pope Francis. I had to cancel that because of Catherine, but I'm sure that'll be rescheduled. And as soon as Catherine's back working again, I think they'll be off around the world being brilliant ambassadors for our country. It's not a real proper life, Harry. Proper life is doing good for others, and you used to do a lot of good for others here, not just for yourself, making books, writing books and making millions, doing videos and podcasts, making millions. That's not what being a member of the royal family is about. The being a royal family is to do good things for people every day, to get up and do good things, not for yourself, but for others. That's what Charles does. That's what William does. That's what Catherine does. That's what Camilla does. And that's what you used to do. And unfortunately, you're not doing it anymore. You're writing books and just say you're slandering the royal family, and you're using all your knowledge of the royal family to humiliate them as best you can. And it's not right. If you want to backdate to America, fine. But you in Britain, you were somebody. Over there, you're just another celebrity. That's all you are.